Alright, guys, I'm making this for one primary reason. If you have been in this space for a while or you're getting into organic, the number one thing you need to focus on is the mindset. And nobody tends to talk about this, but I link this very carefully with what we're talking today because this is bigger deal than you think and there's a lot of context with it. But then also the other thing I want to talk about is focusing on one thing. So being the best at one thing. Why is this really important? Because right now, and this is nothing new, everyone likes to jump from one thing to another, right? And the problem with that, it might seem like a good thing at the time, thinking about it, especially since the dopamine you get from jumping from one thing which failed for maybe 2 days or 1 week, and then you see something else getting a lot of views, so you just cancel this and jump to the other. At the time, it might seem like a very good idea, but this is actually the number one reason to why most people don't even see results. And I'm being very honest with you. So I have seen people who have run mediocre products, but they've done it so well and they've did it for long enough to have enough data to see what was wrong, what was right, and then double down on what's right, and then even better to prolong the time they're running the product until Q4 to actually print with it. Now, there's a few factors which takes a role here. Obviously, you need to be the best at that one thing. So you cannot just stick to one thing, do it for 6 to 12 months, and be mediocre with it. You need to be very. I mean, some people may call it delusional, but you need to actually be very certain that you are picking this to become the best. And I would rather do this. Like I would rather be a sniper to pick one product and be the best at it rather than jumping from one product to another for the next year. And this is how I actually wasted my first year and a half of my journey. I've been in this space for 3 years plus, and as usual, everyone was saying you need to run a product for like 3 days, see how the views are. If it's good, keep it. If it's not, create a new account. So that's for the warm up method. But then the other myth is like if you don't go viral in a week or two, then you could just dump the account or product. So it's a big problem because this teaches you to not be consistent with your products, and even it breaks your belief system in believing firstly in yourself, but then also you're just putting the blame on the algorithm, shadow ban, and so on. But in reality, 99% of the time, it's really you. Okay, and I'm saying this like humbly. I've gone through this. Unless you're getting 0 views, you're not shadow banned. Now, with this being said, there's a few patterns, and I see this with the affiliate team, with myself, with my new pages, and so on. If you're getting not 0, if you're getting like around 100 views, specifically on IG, it's part of the game. Same for Facebook. If you're getting 0 views on Facebook, it's part of the game. These two platforms, they actually get you most of your sales, but they require the most discipline and delusion. You just need to be certain that this is part of the game. It's an obstacle. You're going to go through it. So actually what's going on at this point is the algorithm is trying to learn where your content needs to go. And maybe not with 0 views on Facebook, because I've actually seen some pages perform really good right off the bat. So Facebook, I'm gonna be honest, it's like a luck game. It might take you like maybe 5 days of 0 to 10 views, and then boom, you get 50k views. Or you could be posting for a month with 0 views. So there's luck to this, but Instagram in particular, I've seen this from all around the world. People create accounts and they're stuck at 150 views. It's normal. The good news is usually around like a week, maybe max 2 to 3 weeks. Also, another factor is your content. Like I'm gonna be honest, oftentimes like the edit they do is not as good as the top performers, hence why they're stuck at these views and then others are performing really well. So there's a lot of factors. My point is you don't want to be blaming it on the algorithm. That's the whole point. Okay, there's a lot of factors which could impact your views, along with the fact that creating a new account will require some time to develop the algorithm, but it's okay, right? All that matters is the mindset. You see, that's how I'm linking things together. So during these phases of test, you being tested, you need to be very confident that you're gonna make it go viral, but then at the same time you need to be confident in your ability to not only create better content but then also edit better edits than others. So these are really important along with consistency. So if you can do all of that for long enough, you're going to go viral. So this is really important. The reason why I say being the best at one thing is primarily, again, for the shiny object syndrome. And whether you believe this is a thing or not, it's, I would argue, the most important thing, or it's the most prevalent thing in organic dropshipping. Why? Because the whole business model is to jump from one trend to another. Like whether it's a product, whether it's a marketing angle, um, hook, audio, and so on. So it does to an extent like affect your mind to make you, have this shiny object when looking at new things. But you need to be very, rational about things and just think about it twice before doing it. So whenever you see something new, and by the way, I'll give you a solution to this. So instead of jumping from one product to another, the best way to implement this, because obviously you need to, go from one trend to another, that's fine. But you need to do it with marketing, not with products. So if you can pick a good product and then stick to it for long enough, all you have to do is jump from one format to another. And then it's easy mode. At that point, you're not risking anything and you're not wasting weeks or months of hard work. You're just testing new formats until one of them sticks, and then you double down on it, and then you split test it, and then you go viral more, and then you print. So this is what I need you to focus on. Rewire your mind to stop jumping from one product to another. Stick to one product, okay? A lot of guys like to tell you need to run like 3 to 5 per month and then keep on switching and so on. It could be the most mediocre product and you can print. Marketing is the most important thing along with the account. I've seen people with, primed accounts do really well because obviously their product is good, but then that product is not even like, listen, the thing is there's 5-figure products, there's 6-figure products, and then there's 7-figure products. So this is what I mean. You could be running a 5-figure product, okay? And as long as your account is good, your reach is good, and you're consistent, you could make 5 figures with a 5-figure product. You know what I mean? So there's not really a bad product in this context. It's just about your goals. You know what I mean? And it's fine to jump from one goal to another. But, the harsh reality is if you pick like a golden product, you could go like 6-7 figure from the start. And that's what we see right now with like all the UGC AI content. They're going for the beauty niche, for example, or the health niche. We've been seeing it a lot because it's a 7+ figure product niche. You know what I mean? So it has revolutionized organic dropshipping to an extent because usually you would see only, this sort of product selection in the paid ad section, and that's where they print like 7+ figures. But right now we're seeing it with the organic, which is insane. So yeah, pick a product which has proven concept and switch from one format to another, not the product, okay? There's an extent though, you could also switch from one variant of the product to a new variant. So that's the only exception, in my opinion. But yeah, this wouldn't make sense for everyone. I think this is only good for like someone with some background. So like you need to be an intermediate plus to do this properly, or you need someone to help you do this. I'm not selling a course, I'm just saying you the truth. If you're a complete beginner, I would say actually run a lot of products, but then try to run them like the low barrier products, okay? And I've spoken about this a lot in the past. There's products which can be, considered the pump and dump, so you could find them on Amazon quickly and cheaply. For example, the bracelet, for the Disney bracelet, it's a pump and dump technically, but the way people are marketing it and they're creating the website to display this product is making it look like a brand. So actually these are some of the best products to start with. Why? Because they have a passionate niche and there's a lot of proven concept. You could just take the ideas, recreate them, go viral. So the worst case is you go viral, you don't convert, but you're actually gonna learn. The best case is you're gonna actually do some revenue from it, But what's even smarter is not just copying this guy, for example, this product, take it to different niches. So try to find, for other niches than Disney and so on. So that's like my opinion on beginners. You could just run a lot of these products, like 3 to 5, or I'm gonna even make it 2 to 5. 2 to 5 passionate niche products. The problem with 2 to 5, you see at that point, like 5 is a lot. Unless you're like a machine, you actually pump a lot of content and you're very organized. You're not gonna be able to do 5. I'm gonna be honest, if you see someone doing 5 products, they're probably doing it by stitching. And relying purely on stitching is something I'm against. So my best advice is don't rely on stitching, because you need to build the skill. At the end of the day, let's say you run, and by the way, the reason why I'm telling you to run 2 to 5, we can even make it 4 for the sake of it. The whole point of this is to fail more. Okay, you could actually find the first winner from the first product, but even if you fail, it's fine. These are the lessons which you're going to take with you to become an intermediate or an advanced dropshipper. You could actually pull off like a winner from these. That's the beauty of it. So let's say you run like 3 products, and then one of them is actually good, and you're actually taking like decent products. I don't want you to run like random products. We're talking about things like this, where you could actually make it. It's all about perceived value. You're making it look better than what it really is, with the marketing, with the store, and so on, aka making a brand. So these are better off to to run. So do this, and it's a win-win situation. Whether you make sales or not, it's a win-win, because you're gonna learn how to brand, how to market, and preferably how to create AI content. Okay. So yeah, if there's one final thing, let me see about the mindset. I was a bit like very maybe too harsh with the mindset, but it's true, guys. You need to be very consistent and don't just jump from one thing to another. I've been seeing it a lot, and it's nothing new. It's like since day one. But yeah, just stick to one thing. Be the best at it. This could apply to your environment, by the way. So let's say you have went viral in the past with a certain background, with a certain lighting, soft boxes and so on, with a certain background again. I think I said it twice. I think the last one I didn't mention is the hand movement. So these are actually really important to consider the next time you want to pick a product, because you're better off, or like you're gonna have an easier time to go viral with a product you're more familiar with, familiar in terms of marketing. Unless you've been testing it for a while, nothing's working, then sure, you can try something else. But if you're good at one thing and you stick to it long enough, you're gonna be the best at it, and you're gonna print. So, and by the way, for context, this 3D background, I don't want to see any of you guys using it. Okay, it's no longer good. This is like the most dropshipping background ever, so remove that. It was just for the sake of the reference. Alright, so that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys have learned something new. But honestly, I might have to make another video regarding the mindset, because I could speak about this for an hour, but it's actually the most important thing that's going to determine whether you're going to win or fail. So if this has taught you anything, subscribe, join my Discord. We have Sunday calls every week. And if you want to be part of the affiliate team, we're being more selective right now, because we're honestly just locking in with whoever is with us. I'm personally working with everyone, trying to make sure everyone's winning. So might accept one more. So yeah, let me know on Discord, and that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.